In the vast silence of the ancient Near East, a prayer breaks through the desert wind. A man named Isaac, son of Abraham, the miracle child who once carried wood for his own sacrifice, now prays for a miracle of his own. He is older now. The weight of promise presses on his shoulders like a mantle too heavy to carry alone. Beside him, Rebekah, his wife, suffers in silence. Her womb is barren, her hope thinning like the veil of morning mist under the sun. For 20 long years, they waited. In ancient times, childlessness was more than just a sorrow. It was a stigma, a shame, a whisper in the marketplace. Rebekah had likely heard them all, her body, her faith, her very identity questioned. She carried not only her own grief, but the weight of a divine covenant passed down from Abraham himself. But Isaac does not give up. The scripture says,
Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant. Genesis 25:21.
But the answer doesn't come with peace. It comes with pain. From the very beginning, the life inside her doesn't feel like life. It feels like a war. The twins jostle violently within her womb, not just the normal kicks of life, but a spiritual struggle made flesh. An invisible battle, manifesting in the twisting of her insides. Rebekah, in agony, cries out,
"Why is this happening to me?"
And so, she does what the faithful always do in moments of chaos. She goes to inquire of the Lord.
2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. 1 people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. Genesis 25:23.
A prophecy that defies the natural order. A divine declaration that from the very beginning, the younger, Jacob, will rise above the elder, Esau. This is no ordinary birth. This is the seed of conflict, sown before either brother draws a breath. And then they arrive. The first child bursts forth red and covered in hair, like a wild man of the earth. They call him Esau. But before his cry can even echo off the tent walls, a second hand follows, grasping Esau's heel. Clinging, determined, competitive. They name him Jacob, Yaakov, the one who grasps, the supplanter, the struggler. From the very first breath Jacob reaches, not to bless, but to beat, to overcome. Isaac is 60 years old. He holds his sons in his arms and perhaps wonders how such a long wait could lead to so much tension. But that's how destiny works. It never arrives quietly. Time passes, and as they grow, so do their differences. Esau becomes a hunter, a man of the wild. He smells like the field and returns home with the scent of blood and sweat on his clothes. His laughter is loud, his stride confident. He is what every man in that world was supposed to be, strong, bold, decisive. Jacob is none of those things. He stays among the tents, quiet, watchful. His hands are soft, his mind always working. He's a thinker, a schemer. He doesn't chase wild animals. He studies people. And in their parents' hearts, the seeds of favoritism begin to bloom. Isaac, with his love for game and tradition, favors Esau, the strong firstborn son. Rebekah, whose belly once burned with conflict, remembers the prophecy. She loves Jacob. Perhaps not just as a mother loves, but as a believer does, seeing in him the spark of divine election. But favoritism is poison no matter how justified. It silently carves a wedge between brothers, and what begins as a glance becomes a rivalry. What starts as a whisper becomes a storm. One day Esau returns from the field, famished and empty. His body cries louder than his spirit. He sees the red stew, Jacob's stew, and blurts out,
"Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished."
To which Jacob replies, calm and calculated.
"First, sell me your birthright."
Esau scoffs.
"Look, I am about to die. What good is the birthright to me?"
So Jacob presses.
"Swear to me first."
And Esau, driven by hunger, blinded by the moment, swears. Just like that, the most sacred inheritance, spiritual authority, family leadership, the covenantal line, is traded for lentils and bread. Esau walks away full, but empty. Jacob walks away empty-handed, but full of something more dangerous: ambition. This moment is more than a meal. It's a mirror. Esau represents the impulsive heart, the present-focused mind, the man who lives for now. Jacob is the planner, the one who sees legacy. He manipulates, yes, but he also understands value. He knows the birthright means far more than goats and tents. It's the future of a people. In this story, morality isn't black and white. The Bible doesn't praise Jacob's trickery, but it doesn't praise Esau's negligence either. Instead, it shows us something uncomfortable, that divine destiny sometimes comes wrapped in very human flaws. And that's what makes this story so powerful. Because it's not about perfect people. It's about a perfect God using imperfect people. He doesn't know what lies ahead, but one thing is certain: he's not done grasping. He's only just begun. The blessing and the betrayal. Time passes for all men, even for those touched by the promises of God. Isaac, once the child of divine intervention, now finds himself frail and blind. His strength fades, but his sense of duty burns brighter than ever. Before he dies, he must perform one final sacred act: pass the blessing to his firstborn.
Esau, my son.
Here I am.
Comes the answer. Esau, the rugged hunter, steps into the fading light of his father's tent. He smells of the wild. Dust clings to his garments. Isaac smiles, remembering the boy's strength.
I am old,
Isaac says,
and I do not know the day of my death. Take your weapons, your bow and quiver, and go out to the open country to hunt game for me. Prepare for me the kind of tasty food I love. Then bring it to me so that I may give you my blessing before I die.
This is more than a father's farewell. This is the transfer of divine favor, a spiritual inheritance. The torch passed from Abraham to Isaac, and now to Esau. Or so it seems. Rebekah. She hears every word, and she remembers. She remembers the prophecy, the one spoken before the twins were born.
The older will serve the younger.
She knows which son carries destiny in his bones, and she refuses to let blind tradition override divine truth.
Listen carefully. I heard your father speak to your brother Esau. He's about to bless him. But you must be the one.
She outlines the plan. Simple, risky, deceptive. Jacob will pose as Esau. He will take food to Isaac. He will steal the blessing. Jacob hesitates, not out of conscience, but fear.
What if he touches me? My skin isn't hairy like Esau's. He'll know I'm a fraud. He'll curse me instead of bless me.
But Rebekah is resolute.
Let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say.
She's not just scheming. She's securing the will of God as she understands it. Whether she's right or wrong, only heaven knows. 2 choice goats are slaughtered. Their skins are wrapped around Jacob's arms and neck. Esau's clothes are fetched and placed on him, his scent, his essence. The meal is prepared, rich, savory, familiar. And finally, the moment comes. Jacob enters his father's tent.
My father.
Yes, my son. Who is it?
I am Esau, your firstborn.
Jacob lies.
I have done as you told me. Please eat and bless me.
A pause. Isaac is confused, suspicious.
How did you find it so quickly?
He asks.
The Lord your God gave me success.
Jacob replies.
Come here so I can touch you, to know if you really are my son Esau.
Jacob walks slowly, sweat on his brow. Isaac's hands explore the skins. They are coarse like Esau's.
The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
He smells the clothes, the scent of the field, of wild game and sweat and tradition. It convinces him. Isaac eats. Then he blesses. And the blessing is everything.
May God give you heaven's dew and earth's richness, an abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. Be lord over your brothers. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed.
The torch has passed, the blessing has been spoken, and it cannot be undone. Esau is home. He enters smiling, carrying fresh game.
Father, arise and eat, so you may bless me.
Isaac stiffens.
Who are you?
Esau's face falls. The room darkens.
I am Esau, your firstborn. Then who was it who brought me game and I blessed him? Indeed, he will be blessed. Bless me too, my father.
But Isaac's voice is hollow.
Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing.
Esau, once indifferent to his birthright, now understands its weight.
Isn't he rightly named Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me.
But this time, it's too late. There's nothing left.
The days of mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob.
Rebekah hears. She knows Esau isn't bluffing. So she acts.
Jacob,
She whispers.
you must flee. Go to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him until Esau cools down. Then I'll send for you.
And just like that, Jacob, the blessed son, the chosen one, becomes a fugitive. He walks away from home, from comfort, from everything he's known. He walks away carrying the weight of a stolen blessing and the fear of a vengeful brother. He doesn't yet realize it. But this exile will become his crucible. God's promises are never canceled. But the path to their fulfillment is rarely easy. Jacob is now a man with a destiny. But he must be broken before he can be built. The dream in the desert. He is no longer a son in a tented camp. He is now a wanderer in the wilderness. Jacob, the deceiver, the blessed, the exiled, walks with nothing but a staff and a memory. Behind him is betrayal. Ahead of him is uncertainty. And in the silence between, his soul begins to unravel. He has no map, no companions, no guarantee of safety. But he does have something he doesn't yet understand. He has God's attention. Each footstep echoes with guilt. He stole his brother's future, lied to his father, ran from everything. He walks toward Haran, but he doesn't know how far, or for how long. What he does know is that the road is hard, and his heart even harder. Jacob reaches a certain place. No name, no shelter, no welcome. Just a flat patch of earth and a few scattered stones. The son of Isaac, the grandson of Abraham, the heir to the promise, sleeps on a rock, and there, as his eyes close, heaven opens.
He saw a ladder set up on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. Genesis 28:12.
Jacob sees what no man expects. The connection between heaven and earth is alive, active, not a myth, not a metaphor, real. And standing at the top of the ladder,
I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. The land where you lie, I will give it to you and your descendants. Your offspring will be like the dust of the earth, and through them all peoples on earth will be blessed. I am with you, I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I promised. Genesis 28:13-15.
this is not a punishment. This is a promise. God speaks not as a judge, but as a father. He knows Jacob's guilt. And yet, he affirms the blessing. He confirms the inheritance. He repeats the covenant of Abraham, land, legacy, and divine presence. And now, it belongs to Jacob.
Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it.
He looks around. Nothing has changed. The dirt is still dry. The stone's still hard. But something eternal lingers in the air.
How awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, the gate of heaven.
Jacob rises early, reverent, changed. He takes the very stone he slept on and sets it upright as a pillar. Then he pours oil over it, a silent act of worship, the first altar of his journey. He names the place Bethel, house of God. What began as a place of exile becomes holy ground. And then, for the first time, he speaks to God, not as an heir repeating old prayers, but as a man forging his own covenant.
If God will be with me and watch over me on this journey, and give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God. And this stone I have set up as a pillar will be God's house. And of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. Genesis 28:20 through 22.
This is Jacob's first vow, a tentative faith, a cautious hope. It's not perfect, it's conditional, it sounds like a bargain. But it's a beginning. For the first time, Jacob is reaching not just for power, but for purpose. And isn't that where faith often starts? Not in bold declarations, but in whispers from the edge of exile. Not in palaces, but in wilderness. Not in moments of triumph, but in dreams beneath the stars. Jacob, who once grasped a heel, now reaches for heaven. And though his journey is far from over, he will never walk alone again. The well and the woman. After the night at Bethel, everything feels different. The road is still long, but Jacob now walks with something more than hope. He walks with a promise. He travels north toward Haran, the homeland of his mother Rebekah, and the dwelling place of her brother Laban. It's unfamiliar territory, but in a strange way, it feels like he's getting closer to the center of his calling. He doesn't know what's waiting for him, but he knows who walks beside him. Jacob finally arrives in the land of the eastern peoples. As he approaches the well, he sees 3 flocks of sheep lying nearby. A few shepherds rest lazily in the shade, waiting. The large stone still covers the mouth of the well.
My brothers, where are you from?
We're from Haran.
They reply.
Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor?
We know him.
They nod. Jacob leans forward, hopeful.
Is he well?
Yes, he is.
They say.
And look, his daughter Rachel is coming now with the sheep.
Jacob's heart skips. He doesn't know her yet, but something inside him recognizes what his eyes see. Rachel draws closer. The shepherds wait. Jacob notices the stone is still on the well.
Look,
He says,
the sun is still high. It's not time to gather the flocks. Water the sheep and take them back to pasture.
We can't.
they explain.
Not until all the flocks are gathered and the stone is rolled away.
Rachel arrives, breathless from the walk. She doesn't yet see Jacob clearly. He sees her, and something in him stirs. Jacob steps forward. With surprising strength, he walks to the massive stone, alone, and rolls it away from the well's mouth, a feat that usually takes multiple men. Then he waters Rachel's flock, without a word, without hesitation. This is the moment everything shifts. Jacob, who fled in shame. Jacob, who saw angels and stairways in the night. Jacob, who made a vow on a stone, now meets the woman who will define his next chapter. And then he weeps, not because he's sad, not because he's broken, but because, for the first time in a long time, he feels whole. He tells her who he is, her mother's nephew, the son of Rebekah, her kin. Rachel, stunned, runs home.
He's here, my cousin Jacob.
He hurries to meet the young man. The moment he sees Jacob, dusty, tired, full of emotion, he knows this is family. Jacob tells him everything: the deception, the blessing, the escape, the dream. Laban listens, nodding slowly. Then he says the words Jacob's heart longs to hear.
You are my own flesh and blood.
Then one day, Laban speaks.
Just because you're a relative of mine, should you work for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be?
Jacob doesn't hesitate. He's not interested in money. He wants Rachel.
I will work for you 7 years in return for your younger daughter Rachel.
Laban agrees.
It's better I give her to you than to another man. Stay here with me.
And just like that, the terms are set. The years pass, but they don't feel like years.
So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Genesis 29:20.
This isn't just work, it's worship. Jacob's love is patient and pure. For 7 years he labors with a vision in his heart, not just of Rachel, but of a new life, a new beginning. The bride in the dark. It's wedding night. After 7 long years, Jacob is finally marrying Rachel, the woman he loves, the one he worked for day after day under the scorching sun. This is supposed to be the beginning of a new life. But Jacob has no idea. It's also the beginning of a great betrayal. There is no electric light, no clear visibility, only flickering torchlight, only tradition, only trust. The bride enters the tent, and Jacob, exhausted, expectant, receives her. The deception is perfect, silent, complete. It's not Rachel. It's Leah. Leah, the older daughter. Not the one he loves, not the one he worked for, but the one who was hidden in the night. He storms through the camp, straight to Laban.
What is this you have done to me? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me?
It is not our custom to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one.
A shrug, as if this is normal, as if betrayal is just part of the process.
Finish this bridal week with Leah, then I'll give you Rachel also, in exchange for another 7 years of work.
He has no choice. He agrees. The deceiver has been deceived. Just as Jacob once tricked his blind father in the dark, now, in the darkness of his wedding night, the trick has been played on him. The irony cuts deep. God is not mocked, but he is mysterious. And the one who grabbed at heels must now taste the bitterness of being outmaneuvered. 1 week after marrying Leah, Jacob is given Rachel, his beloved. But this love comes at a cost. Another 7 years, and a home torn between 2 wives. Rachel is beautiful, cherished. Leah is tender-eyed, overlooked, unloved. And yet, Leah is the first to bear children. God sees her sorrow. He sees that she is unloved. And he opens her womb. Her firstborn is Reuben.
Because the Lord has seen my misery, surely now my husband will love me.
But Jacob doesn't change. She gives birth again, Simeon.
Because the Lord heard that I am not loved, he gave me this one too.
Still, no affection from Jacob. Another son, Levi.
Now at last my husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons.
And finally a fourth, Judah. But this time Leah says nothing about Jacob. She simply says,
This time I will praise the Lord.
Her journey is no longer about earning love from man. She's learning to rest in the love of God. She, the beloved, is barren. Her tent echoes with silence, and Rachel begins to burn with jealousy.
Give me children, or I'll die.
She cries to Jacob. But Jacob snaps.
Am I in the place of God who has kept you from having children?
In desperation, Rachel gives her servant Bilhah to Jacob.
She will bear children for me, so that through her I too can build a family.
And Bilhah bears 2 sons, Dan and Naphtali. Rachel names them with defiance.
God has vindicated me. I have had a great struggle with my sister, and I have won.
But the war is far from over. Zilpah bears Gad and Asher. The competition continues, 2 sisters, bound in rivalry, shaping the house of Israel through pain and pride. This is not a love story. It's a legacy forged in chaos. And God, ever faithful, works through it all. Each child born is another stone laid in the foundation of a nation. 12 sons will come, 12 tribes will rise, but not without cost. He came to Haran for a wife. He found a web. He thought he was chasing blessing. He's discovering what it costs to carry it. The deal of stripes and shadows. Years have passed. Jacob is no longer the boy who fled home. He's a husband, a father, a shepherd, and the father of 11 sons. He came to Haran with only a staff. Now his tents are full, but something stirs in his spirit. He remembers the land of promise, the vow he made beneath the stars at Bethel, and he knows it's time to go home. He finds Laban and speaks.
Send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children, for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way."
But Laban, the master of delay, has no intention of letting Jacob go.
If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you.
He's not wrong. Laban's flocks multiplied because of Jacob's faithful labor. He doesn't want Jacob to leave, not because of love, but because of profit.
Name your wages,
Laban says.
"Don't give me anything. Let me go through your flocks today and remove every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They'll be my wages."
It sounds fair, simple, and seemingly in Laban's favor. After all, most sheep are white. Most goats are solid in color. He thinks he's made a great deal. But Jacob knows something Laban doesn't. He understands livestock. And more importantly, he understands divine strategy. Jacob takes fresh-cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees. He peels the bark, exposing white inner strips, and places them in the watering troughs, where the animals come to drink and mate. Was it superstition, science, or a divine hint Jacob picked up during his years with the flocks? Whatever the method, it works. Strong animals begin producing speckled and spotted offspring. Jacob makes sure those are the ones he breeds, and the weak animals, he leaves for Laban. Every season, Jacob's flocks grow larger. His wealth multiplies. Laban's envy festers. Jacob doesn't cheat. He doesn't steal. He simply outsmarts. And he trusts the quiet hand of God moving behind the scenes. His staff once marked his poverty. Now it marks his prosperity. The man who once had nothing now has everything. But with every blessing comes a target.
Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all this wealth at our father's expense.
Once he saw a servant. Now he sees a threat. And then God speaks.
Go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you.
The call is clear. It's time.
Your father's attitude toward me has changed. But the God of my father has been with me. You know I've worked for him with all my strength.
He tells them about the dream he had of an angel in the field.
Lift up your eyes and see.
The angel said,
All the male goats mating with the flock are streaked, speckled, or spotted. I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel,
the voice said.
Go back to your land.
Do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Do whatever God has told you.
They are ready. The daughters of Laban stand not with their father, but with their husband. They slip away. No farewells, no negotiations, just silence and movement. Jacob is returning home, but not as the man who left. He left Canaan with a staff in his hand. Now he returns with 2 wives, 11 sons, servants, and vast herds. He was once a deceiver on the run. Now he is a patriarch on the rise. But there is still one shadow on the road ahead: Esau. The pursuer and the pillar. Jacob has fled, quietly, strategically, righteously, but not cleanly. He's obeyed God's voice. He's returned to his vow. But behind him comes a storm.
They're gone.
Gone. With his daughters, his grandchildren, and his wealth. For 7 days, Laban pursues Jacob through the wilds of Gilead. Each day his anger grows, not just because Jacob left, but because something else is missing. To a man like Laban, this is more than theft. This is spiritual treason. They don't know what's coming, but God does. That night, in a dream, a voice breaks through.
Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad.
Laban awakes, shaken. There is no place to run, no time to hide.
What have you done?
Laban demands.
You deceived me and carried off my daughters like captives in war.
Jacob remains silent.
Why did you run? Why didn't you let me kiss my grandchildren goodbye?
A father's wounded pride hides beneath his words.
I have the power to harm you.
Laban adds.
But last night, your God warned me.
I left because I was afraid. I thought you'd take your daughters away by force.
Then Jacob adds something unexpected.
But if you find your household gods with anyone here, they shall not live.
Unbeknownst to Jacob, she took them. She stole her father's idols before they fled. Why? A keepsake? A challenge? A silent rebellion? No one knows for sure. She smiles politely.
Forgive me, Father. I can't rise before you. I'm having my period.
Under the saddle where she sits, the idols lie hidden. He searches no further.
I've worked for you 20 years. Your sheep and goats never miscarried. I never ate your rams. When animals were torn, I bore the loss myself. By day the heat consumed me, and the cold by night. Sleep fled from my eyes.
His voice trembles, not from fear, but from passion.
14 years I worked for your daughters, 6 years for your flocks, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been with me, you would have sent me away empty-handed. But God has seen my hardship and my toil. Last night, he rebuked you.
Let's make a covenant,
Laban says.
a witness between us.
Jacob agrees. Laban calls it Jagar Sahadutha in Aramaic. Jacob calls it Gilead in Hebrew. Both mean the same thing, heap of witness.
May the Lord keep watch between you and me when we are absent from one another. If you mistreat my daughters,
Laban warns.
God will see it.
Jacob offers a sacrifice. A solemn meal follows. As night falls, the two camps sleep on opposite sides of the pillar. Then he turns and walks away. Forever. This is more than a separation. It is a severing. Jacob has broken free not only from Laban, but from the old cycle of manipulation and control. He is no longer the deceiver under Laban's thumb. He is something new, a leader, a patriarch, a man who knows what it means to struggle and still be blessed. The wrestler in the night. It's been 20 years. 20 years since Jacob fled from home with nothing but fear in his heart and blessing in his hand. Now he returns, not as a fugitive, but as a father, as a leader, as a man weighed down with wealth, family, and faith. But one fear still grips him. Esau. He's heard the report. Esau is coming. With 400 men. He knows what that could mean. Not a welcome party, but a war band.
Divide the camp in two. If Esau attacks one group, the other may escape.
He prepares for the worst and hopes for the best. But before he does anything more, he prays,
O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau. I am afraid. But you said, I will surely make you prosper and make your descendants like the sand of the sea.
This is not the Jacob who once manipulated his way through life. This is a man who has been broken and is learning to lean on something greater than himself. 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 camels, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, 10 male donkeys.
Go ahead of me,
Jacob instructs,
and keep some space between the herds. When Esau asks, whose are these? Tell him, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us.
He stays behind, alone. He's about to face Esau. But first, he must face himself, a man, or something like a man. They collide, they wrestle, hour after hour, not a skirmish, but a war of souls. Who is this? A robber, an angel, a messenger, a mirror? Jacob doesn't know. But he holds on. He doesn't ask for mercy. He doesn't beg for release. He fights, like he always has. He's not just wrestling a man. He's wrestling his past, his guilt, his identity, his fear, his need for control. His hip is wrenched, dislocated, broken, but still, he won't let go.
Let me go,
The stranger says.
for it is daybreak.
I will not let you go unless you bless me.
Jacob replies through clenched teeth. The fight is over. Now comes the transformation.
What is your name?
Jacob.
He answers. The name carries weight. Deceiver, supplanter, the one who grasped the heel. But the figure speaks.
Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans, and have overcome.
Jacob is no longer who he was. He is limping, but he is changed.
Tell me your name.
Jacob asks.
Why do you ask my name?
Jacob is left alone, in pain, in awe, in blessing.
It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared.
The sun rises. Jacob limps toward the river. A new day has begun, and he is no longer defined by deception, but by transformation. He is Israel now, and he is ready to face his brother. The embrace of a brother. Jacob limps forward. Each step is pain. Each step is purpose. He is no longer the man who ran. He is no longer the man who deceived. He is Israel now, wounded, transformed, walking not in fear but in faith. But his greatest fear still lies ahead. Esau. There is no place to hide, no schemes left to play, only truth. And then he steps out. He bows. Once, twice, 7 times. Each bow a gesture of humility. Each bow a symbol of surrender. He is not coming to fight. He is coming to fall at his brother's mercy. Then Esau runs, but not with a sword. With open arms. This is not vengeance. This is reconciliation. Esau, the man once robbed of blessing, now becomes the very picture of grace. He kisses the one who betrayed him. He forgives the one who stole everything. In that moment, the real birthright is revealed. Not land, not livestock, but love. Then Esau looks up.
Who are all these with you?
Jacob replies,
These are the children God has graciously given your servant.
It is not just Jacob bowing anymore. It's a new generation, a new legacy.
What's the meaning of all these herds I met?
To find favor in your eyes, my lord.
Jacob answers, but Esau waves it off.
I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have.
Jacob insists.
Please, if I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God, now that you have received me favorably.
They've exchanged more than gifts. They've exchanged wounds for peace. But Jacob, cautious, declines.
You go on ahead. I'll follow slowly. The children are frail, and the flocks must not be driven hard.
They part ways peacefully. There he builds shelters for his family, and for the first time, he owns land in Canaan. He buys a plot of land from the sons of Hamor. And there he builds an altar. He calls it El Elohe Israel, God the God of Israel. This is the first time Jacob uses his new name to honor the Lord. Not just God of his father, but his God. Jacob's journey home is complete. But peace is not permanent in this world. She is seen by Shechem, the prince of the land. And what begins as a glance turns into violence. He claims to love her, but the damage is done. When Simeon and Levi return and hear what's happened, they are enraged. And on the 3rd day, while the men of Shechem are still in pain, they slaughter every male.
You have brought trouble on me, making me a stench to the Canaanites and Perizzites. We are few in number. If they unite against us, we will be destroyed.
His sons reply coldly.
Should he have treated our sister like a prostitute?
The land of promise is stained with blood. Jacob, who once sowed deception, now reaps it in his own sons. His story isn't over, but he has seen God. He has embraced a brother. He has planted an altar in Canaan, and now he must walk forward, still limping, still learning. The blessing in the bones. He has come full circle. back to where it all began, to Bethel, to the place of the dream, to the stone once used as a pillow. And this time, he doesn't sleep here. He builds.
El Bethel,
Jacob says aloud.
the God of Bethel.
He is not the same man who once laid on the ground, terrified and alone. Now he stands tall in the land of promise. But even in blessing, life does not pause. Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, dies here, a quiet loss, a buried memory from his youth now gone. They mourn under the great oak. They name the tree Alon Bakuth, Oak of Weeping. She is with child, but something is wrong. It's labor, but not life-giving. It's Rachel's final breath.
Call him Ben-Oni, son of my sorrow.
But Jacob cannot let sorrow have the final word.
He shall be called Benjamin, son of my right hand.
Not in the family tomb, not in Hebron, but on the journey between promises. His first love is gone, but her legacy lives on in Benjamin. He returns to his father's house. Isaac is old, very old, and soon he dies. The cycle is complete, but trouble still stirs in Jacob's family. One night, Reuben, his firstborn, commits a shameful act. He sleeps with Bilhah, one of Jacob's concubines. It's more than betrayal. It's a declaration of rebellion, and Jacob hears of it, but says nothing, not yet. Jacob loves him more than the rest. He's the firstborn of Rachel, the woman of his heart. He makes Joseph a special robe, a tunic of many colors, a statement, a target.
We were binding sheaves in the field, and my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to it. I had another dream. The sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed to me.
Even Jacob rebukes him.
Will your mother and I and your brothers bow down to you?
But in his heart, Jacob wonders. He doesn't know yet what will happen. He doesn't know his beloved son will be taken from him, sold, assumed dead. He doesn't know the robe will return stained in blood. He doesn't know he will grieve for years, unconsoled. Jacob hears that there is grain in Egypt. He sends his sons. He holds Benjamin back, too precious, too afraid. But the journey will demand everything, even Benjamin. Then,
I'm Joseph.
Joseph is alive. He is ruler of all Egypt.
Jacob freezes. He cannot believe until he sees the wagons Joseph has sent. Then, his spirit revives.
It is enough. Joseph, my son, is still alive. I will go and see him before I die.
And God speaks.
Jacob, Jacob.
Here I am,
he replies.
Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will make you into a great nation there. I will go down with you, and I will surely bring you back.
And then, father and son collide.
Now I am ready to die.
Jacob says,
since I have seen for myself that you are still alive.
Jacob blesses Pharaoh, settles in Goshen, 17 more years. He adopts Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's sons. He blesses them, crosses his hands. The younger receives the greater blessing. Again, each receives a prophecy, a vision of their future. Some bright, some shadowed, all divine.
Bury me with my fathers, in the cave of Machpelah. There Abraham and Sarah were buried. There Isaac and Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah.
They carry his bones back to Canaan, back to the land of promise, back to the cave. Jacob the struggler, Jacob the deceiver, Jacob the lover, Jacob the father, Jacob the wrestler of God, now sleeps beside the patriarchs. He is gone, but his name lives on. Israel, a man, a nation, a promise.
God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. Hebrews 11:16.